नमस्कार आदाब श्रोताओं, ये रेडियो फिजिटू का प्रसारण है और मैं वीना भटनागर आईना का एक और बहुत ही अहम एपिसोड लेकर आपकी खिदमत में हाजिर है। अ वेरी गुड आफ्टरनून टू यू ऑल एंड वेलकम टू आईना। और आज आईना में याद रहे हमारे मेहमान हैं द प्राइम मिनिस्टर ऑफ फिजी कॉमोडोर वोरेंगे बैनिमारामा एंड द टॉपिक ऑफ डिस्कशन इज स्ट्रिक्टली ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन। तो याद रहे श्रोताओं, आज हम बातें करेंगे ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर, और अगर इसको लेकर आपको कोई भी क्लैरिफिकेशन चाहिए तो आप ज़रूर हमें कॉल कर सकते हैं 3220-902 या 3220-902 पर। और आगे मैं आपको बता दूं, प्राइम मिनिस्टर महोदय ने मुझे पहले ही बता दिया है कि पिछले मरतबा बहुत सारे लोगों ने पानी की समस्याएं, बत्ती की समस्याएं, रास्ते की समस्याओं को लेकर आपने सवाल खड़े किए थे। तो आपके पास मौका है, आप कॉल करें 9905-819 या 9905-790। ये प्राइम मिनिस्टर के दफ्तर का नंबर है और अपनी सारी शिकायतें आप दर्ज कर सकते हैं। इट्स नॉट दैट कि आपके जो शिकायतें हैं ये नहीं देखा जाएगा या नज़रअंदाज किया जा रहा है, लेकिन देयर इज़ अ चैनल। आप पीएम के दफ्तर में कॉल करके 9905-819 या 9905-790 पर शिकायत दर्ज कर सकते हैं। लेकिन टुडे वी आर स्ट्रिक्टली टॉकिंग draft constitution. Prime Minister sir, a very good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, Veena.
Welcome to the Aaina show and thank you so much. और श्रोताओं, हम आपको बता दें, the draft constitution is ready and available to all Fijians to read, understand and of course make your last submissions if you feel some changes are necessary. याद रहे श्रोताओं, आज पीएम साहब क्लैरिफिकेशंस देंगे ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर। So, the Attorney General's Chambers already had a briefing last week in Suva and yesterday in the Northern Division, and tomorrow from 9:30 to 12:30 p.m. at Tanawa Waterfront Conference Room. तो मेरे जितने भी प्यारे श्रोताओं हैं, you can go attend this conference. ये जो briefing है, sessions है, ये आप attend कर सकते हैं. It's on the draft constitution. और वहाँ पर भी you can on the spot make the submissions if you'd like to. So, the first question is how much time does the public have to make their final submissions?
Thank you, Veena. I understand that there's a lot of people, especially those in the remote areas, in the rural areas, and those in the maritime areas, haven't had a chance to read the Constitution. So that is why we are having this conversation, so we can get a clarification. We can inform them of the clarification of any bits of the Constitution that they want clarified. The Attorney General Chambers are going around to clarify this, but mostly to give briefings to the commissioners and the permanent secretaries and the PAs and the ROCOs and the advisory councillors, clarifying bits of the Constitution, and then those people will of course go out to the remote areas and to the maritime islands and to talk about the Constitution and obtain submissions from people. Initially, you know, Veena, that the date was supposed to have been the 5th of April, but because of requests from people and the population at large, we have members of the public have until Friday the 26th April 2013, of course, to make the submission.
Yes, sir, I'd like to thank the government of the day for giving the people of Fiji a draft constitution in very simple English so that they can read, understand, and of course make their own judgment. And the opportunity for them to comment is here. So you got this opportunity, make the most of it. हमारे प्यारे श्रोताओं, आप इसका ज़्यादा से ज़्यादा फ़ायदा उठाएगा. So if I'm not wrong, you have said in your previous interviews that the government draft includes a lot of what was recommended by the Gai Commission, along with some sections from the 1997 Constitution. So yesterday in the Talkback show on Radio Fiji 1, you stated that Professor Yash Gai was influenced and did not act independently when putting together Gai draft. Would you like to elaborate on this statement for the benefit of my listeners?
Well, first of all, Veena, the Gai draft has not been totally withdrawn.
Yes.
Some of it, if not most, have been incorporated into this draft constitution. But reading the Gai draft, it is very clear to us, to me, is that he has not been independent. And I go back to the conversation I had with him the first time we met on the plane, coming over to Fiji, when he mentioned that he had received a request from Canberra to go and talk to the government of Australia. And I remember telling him that he hasn't even talked to anyone in Fiji. Why should he go talk to the Australians? But from then on, I had an impression that he was not going to do us any favors.
Yes, it happens when you talk to people before you do something. Well, so the question is, how different is the current draft constitution from the guide draft? If you have not included or left out some elements from the guide draft, there would be some very valid reasons and would have been done in the best interest of all Fijians, I believe. So to put to rest all uncertainties amongst the general public, would you like to explain? Well done.
Thank you. Vina, as I've said, the draft constitution incorporates all the positive aspects of the guide draft, and of course, the 1997 constitution. This includes the Bill of Rights, in particular the socio-economic rights. The draft constitution also gets rid of the excessive bureaucracy that was contained in the guide draft, such as the People's Assembly, which comprised mainly of unelected NGOs, which had powers and authority over and above the elected parliament. As you know, in the guide draft, they had proposed an assembly of about 140 people. That would cost us a lot of money, and it creates a lot of bureaucracy, in addition to the fact that they are unelected. So that was one of the things that we got rid of from dry draft. If we want to create a true democracy, let's get rid of the undemocratic entity that has been proposed, such as the one in guide draft. The draft constitution also proposes an open list system of voting, under which the voters will choose their own candidates, rather than the closed list system proposed by the guide draft, which you have to select the political parties instead of candidates, and who will then the parties will then select their own representatives. The guide draft also have allowed all the decrees to be challenged and to go back in time. In other words, when the constitution comes in place, they can challenge all the decrees and everything that has been put in the decrees. A good example that was given was if a rapist was sent to jail, he would have been sent to jail by a judge appointed under the constitution. Now, guide draft says that you can challenge that decision made by the judge, and of course that would allow the rapist to come out of jail, and in fact everyone would come out of jail.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Well explained. And we'll take a break here. And आइना एक ब्रेक लेते हैं. इसके बाद में हमारी कॉलर्स को मौका देंगे. You can call and ask the PM साहब. आपने ये सवाल याद रहे, strictly on draft constitution. आइना जारी है रेडियो फिजी 2 पर श्रोताओं. वेलकम बैक टू आइना. और याद रहे आज हमारे प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब हमारे मेहमान हैं और कुछ कॉलर्स को मौका देते हैं. और आप अपना नाम बताइए, पता बताइए इन योर क्वेश्चन ऑन द ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. हेलो, नमस्कार जी. आपके पास अगर कोई सवाल हो ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर, अपना नाम और पता बताइएगा. नमस्कार जी.
नमस्कार.
अपना नाम और पता बताइएगा भाई साहब.
मैं नांदी देता, मेरा नाम अशोक कुमार है.
अशोक जी, ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर आपका सवाल क्या है?
मेरा सवाल कुछ FNPF के ऊपर है, कुछ ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन के ऊपर क्या कुछ है उसमें FNPF के.
Anything in the draft constitution in regards to FNPF? That is what exactly he's asking.
Not that I know. No.
अभी फिलहाल नहीं, लेकिन आपके कोई शंका है तो प्राइम मिनिस्टर्स के दफ्तर का नंबर हमने आपको दिया है ना, 9905-819 पर आप संपर्क कर सकते हैं. ओके, थैंक यू सो मच. आपका स्वागत है. नमस्कार जी.
Hi, this is Rohit from Lambasa.
Good afternoon, Rohit.
Good afternoon to you.
Your question on the draft constitution.
I'm concerned about the dual citizenship. It's I'm a dual citizen, a citizen of Fiji and of New Zealand. Just wanted to ask if we do have the opportunity to register as a voter and vote in the elections, or do we not, and is it part of the Constitution for dual citizenships?
Thank you for your question, sir.
That's a good question because
Yes.
I've never gone into that. Maybe I need some clarification on that area, but I'll let you know.
Yes, but they can keep dual citizenship, right?
Yes,
As in the
yes.
constitution, draft constitution.
Yes.
Yes, but as for voting rights,
I really have to go back to the Solicitor General's chambers and find out.
thank you, sir. We'll get back to you. ठीक है?
Thank you
धन्यवाद.
very much. My number is 860-3315. I would really appreciate this because I do have a concern for our country. That's the reason why I'm back here and I'm invested in Lambasa. And we need to know, because issues which relate to socio-economic status of Lambasa North, we love this place. That's why we are back.
Thank you, Rohit ji. With the clarifications, we'll get back to you. और अगले कॉलर का मौका देते हैं. आपका नाम पता. नमस्ते जी.
हेलो बीना भटनागर जी.
हाँ जी.
हाँ जी, मेरा नाम राकेश कुमार है. मैं नसूरी यूपी से बात कर रहा हूँ.
जी राकेश, ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर कोई सवाल है, कोई क्लैरिफिकेशन आप चाहते हैं?
हाँ, हम लोग के यहाँ समस्या है कि हम लोग के यहाँ पर पानी नहीं है, बत्ती नहीं है. हम लोग बहुत
अच्छा,
तरह के लेटर.
ठीक है भैया, आपके पास में एक नंबर देती हूँ, इसको नोट कर लो, अभी जल्दी से नोट कर लो. 9905-819. आप इस नंबर पर रिंग करो या 9905-790 पर कॉल करके अपने जो कंप्लेंट्स है डायरेक्टली प्राइम मिनिस्टर महोदय के दफ्तर तक पहुंचेगा आपका कंप्लेन और इस पर जरूर ध्यान दिया जाएगा. थैंक यू. आपका स्वागत है. नाम पता एंड योर क्वेश्चन ऑन योर ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन.
Good morning, Veena Bhatnagar, and good afternoon, Mr. Baini Marama.
Yes, good afternoon.
Yeah, in my submission towards the draft constitution, I would like to request for adultery to be made a criminal offense. At present, adultery is only treated as a serious offense by the discipline forces in Fiji. I am of the view that adultery should become a criminal offense that is applicable to all Fijians. Marriage is a secret bond between two people which is also recognized by law. The number of people committing adultery and jeopardizing their marriages in the process is alarming. A large chunk of divorces that are applied for each year are due to something that has become an unhealthy norm in our country. Adultery. Adultery is a serious problem that needs to be addressed because not only does it have social and economic effects.
जी, thank you. बहन, आपका नाम क्या है?
Such as depression and suicide.
जी, आपका नाम क्या है?
I can't tell my name, and I'm an unknown person because this problem is also happening to me.
अच्छा जी, thank you so
I am
much.
complaining this just because of the whole ladies in Fiji.
जी, thank you so much. Thank you so much. PM साहब, will you answer that question? Adultery to be made a...
He's put in a submission to have the constitution amended. We'll have a look at it.
Okay, thank you so. याद रहे, अगर आपने सबमिशन किया है, if you haven't done your submissions, it is the right time now. अपने सबमिशंस आप दीजिएगा और इस पर जरूर ध्यान दिया जाएगा. आपका स्वागत है. नमस्ते जी.
हेलो वीना जी.
जी, अपना नाम?
मैं टोनी लाल बात कर रहा हूँ बा से.
जी, क्या लाल?
मैं जानना चाहता हूँ कि अगर एक गवर्नमेंट हॉस्पिटल में अगर एक डॉक्टर की मिस्टेक से एक पेशेंट का मौत हो जाता है तो ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में क्या कॉम्पेंसेट करने के लिए पैसा है वहाँ पर?
Is asking that if in a government hospital, if a doctor is at fault and the patient dies, is there any provisions in the constitution to compensate for the damage done?
Of course, he has the right to do that under the constitution. So that would be covered by law.
Yes.
मैं प्राइम मिनिस्टर का ऑफिस 2 टाइम विजिट कर चुका हूँ
जी,
और स्टिल वो मिस्टर नलीबा इसका इन्वेस्टिगेट कर रहा है.
जी, थैंक यू. आप ऐसा करें, दोबारा जो अपनी जो कंप्लेन है आप लॉन्च कर सकते हैं. मैंने टेलीफोन नंबर्स आपको दिए हैं. ठीक है. थैंक यू सो मच. आपका स्वागत है. नमस्ते जी.
Good afternoon, Madam.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Prime Minister.
Good afternoon.
This is Fayaz Ali, Chairman Latokadisi Advisory Council.
Yes,
We
Mr.
support this draft constitution wholly, fully, and heartily. This is the first time ever that this sort of draft constitution has come to the people of our country. Members are elected into this constitution, and I would like to say only one comment to the Prime Minister. We should have only place for social and economic focus. We should remove the political agendas where people have interest at heart. But for us, as lay people, I think this is the first time ever we have a constitution in place, and we support the Prime Minister and his government for bringing up a wonderful document for the people of our nation.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Your comment,
Naka.
sir? Thank you so much. और अनदर कॉलर को मौका देते हैं. हेलो, नमस्कार जी. आपका नाम पता?
Jamikori बात करें वो हैं.
Yes, Semi, have you got a question on draft constitution? Any
Yes, I
clarification?
just need clarification. Good afternoon, to you, sir. Mr. Prime Minister, sir. This regards the Bill of Rights 27, Section 27 concerning freedom of expropriation or dispossession.
Excuse me, sorry to interfere. भाई साहब अपना जो रेडियो का वॉल्यूम है आप थोड़ा सा धीमा कर दें ताकि फीडबैक ना आए.
Is that okay now?
Yes.
Thank you.
You repeat your question, please.
Yeah. I'm just inquiring about, is this applicable to the case concerning Batukola, which there's compensation to landowners that in 1908 there was a land ordinance that was providing even compensation to the landowners. This ceased in 1934 and the opening of the mine in 1935. And since 1935 to date, the landowners have not received any compensation. That is the one, but as far as the draft constitution, I'm totally for it. I'm just wondering if the Honorable Prime Minister could elaborate if I could be helped on that part as far as Batukola is concerned. And also land tenure system, we have 99 and 50 years, and we have some exceeding 99. Can we have a standard of 99 for all land? And also the issue of education. Education, the rights to education, I believe, is correct according to the draft constitution. But the running and management of the schools, that is a question. Can the Prime Minister assist me in that aspect, sir?
Thank you. Thank you for your question. We'll take a break and then the PM will answer your question. आईना में एक बार फिर से हम आपका स्वागत करते हैं श्रोताओं. आज हमारे मेहमान हैं हमारे देश के प्रधानमंत्री कमोडोर वोरेंगे बैनिमरामा साहब और आज क्लैरिफिकेशंस दे रहे हैं ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर. सर, वुड यू लाइक टू आंसर द प्रीवियस कॉलर्स?
Thank you, Vina. I really don't know the particulars of the case in Batukola, but as far as I know, this constitution is a forward-looking one. You cannot go back in time. There was a gentleman that asked about dual citizenship, if he can vote. I've been receiving some clarification on that he can vote if he has registered. But if he wants to become a parliamentarian, that's a different story altogether. He needs to give up his other citizenship.
तो रोहित जी, अगर आप सुन रहे हैं तो you've got a right to vote. So अगर आप रजिस्टर नहीं हुए हैं, you can still
He has
register.
to register.
You register and go ahead. You can vote. Thank you, sir, for the clarification. And talking about code of conduct, actually, code of conduct, accountability, and transparency commission is a good provision. Can you explain further, please? Why was this necessary?
Thank you, Vina. In the 1997 Constitution, there was a requirement for Parliament to implement a code of conduct for ministers, for parliamentarians, and senior civil servants. But that has not been done. That is going to be put in place in the next 3 months. I've asked the Solicitor General and the AG's chambers to put one in place in the next 3 months. And of course, that will go in our Constitution.
Thank you, sir. Actually, some provisions which have traditionally been the practice in the past have been deleted in the draft constitution. For example, the office of the vice president, which will have the chief justice as acting president. Appointment of the president vested in the Great Council of Chiefs will now rest with the parliament. Discontinuation of upper house, senate, and the prime minister is proposed to be commander-in-chief of the military and not the president. Chief Justice to be appointed by the President at the advice of the Prime Minister after consultation with the Attorney General. Leader of the opposition has been left out, as was the practice in the past. Would you like to explain why these amendments were necessary, sir?
Thank you, Vina. The Vice President has always been a ceremonial position and largely a redundant position, and who only performs any functions when if the president is out of office, as has been since 2009. If the president is not in the office, of course the function is performed by the Chief Justice. For the last 4 or 5 years, we have never had a vice president, yet the state and the government has been performing very well. That is with the position of the vice president. What else did you ask for?
That was appointment of the president vested in the Great Council of Chiefs will now rest with the parliament.
Yes. As you know, we've removed the Great Council of Chiefs from from the constitution, being an undemocratic entity. The draft constitution ensures that the president is now directly appointed by the elected representatives of the people of Fiji, which of course is the parliament.
And this continuation of the upper house?
We've again the Senate, like the Great Council of Chiefs, is an unelected body. It's undemocratic, and we really don't need it. And at any rate, with the open list system, the people are given the choice to to elect their own representatives to parliament.
And there's a lot of money cost involved there as well.
Of course. Like the Great Council of Chiefs, there's a lot of money involved in that. The upper house, even the 140 house assembly that was proposed by Professor Yasgai. We need to get rid of all that.
And another one was Prime Minister is proposed to be the commander-in-chief of the military and not the president.
Well, I've heard a lot about this, especially from former soldiers. And as I've explained before, given that the president is largely a ceremonial position, it is important that the commander-in-chief of the armed force be the elected head of the government. But we can have a look at this later on to see if it can changes can be made to this in the constitution.
Actually, at this juncture, Prime Minister Sir, many people are also saying that too much power is concentrated in the hands of Prime Minister and AG. Do you agree with this? Do you agree to this?
Not really, Vina.
There's a little concern here. Why I'm asking this question, sir, is people have faith in you. But what if after 5 or 10 years down the line, if somebody who is not so generous comes into power, there is a fear of abuse of power. Is there any provision in the draft constitution to contain this element of fear?
You know, last time I sat in this room, there was an Indo-Fijian gentleman that said that we should go back to the 1997 constitution, give the powers back to the Itoukes. I don't know if he was one of the supporters of the political parties that are vying for this, the removal of this particular one and bringing back the 1997 constitution. But I want to tell people that you should not lose hope. The people that went to Monoweni did not lose hope after the events of 2000. There's enough protection for people in the constitution and in the laws to protect them from whatever, from violence or from corruption. We're just talking about this system that's going to be put in place for parliamentarians and ministers and civil servants to ensure that there's transparency and accountability in the system. Those are the little things that major things that have been put into the constitution to ensure security for all.
And I think the onus is on the general public because you will be choosing your prime minister, right?
Yes, of course. They have the opportunity to pick, appoint, elect people to go into the government of the day.
And if they don't perform, that means you have chosen the wrong person.
Exactly.
So, thank you, sir. Thank you so much. We take some more calls. Hello, नमस्कार जी. आपका नाम पता है? Your question. वालेकुम अस्सलाम.
आज हम बात करें.
Azam, you've got a question on draft constitution.
उसमें हम बहुत खुशी है, right?
You are happy? Yes, thank you.
और हमें एक सवाल उनका पूछे.
जी.
जो आदमी लोग व्हीलचेयर में, उन के कौन सी है उसी दाम में?
Okay, thank you so much. People on wheelchairs. I think there's a lot in the draft constitution.
Yes. That is taken care of in the constitution. The right to people with disability.
Yes. On that, sir, I've got a question. Actually, you must have noticed that the public mainly call to share their grievances. Some complain about bad roads, some about poor medical facilities, etc. Recently, in an interview, you mentioned that the draft constitution, for the first time in Fiji's history, guarantees socio-economic rights for every Fijian, and these are inclusive of rights to housing, reasonable access to transportation, education, adequate food, clean water, a just minimum wage, social security schemes, health services, and sanitation, along with rights of children and disabled. These are the basic rights of people incorporated in the draft constitution. Would you like to elaborate on that?
When Guy and his commission were going around obtaining proposals from people at large for the constitution, a lot of people didn't talk much about politics. Really, that's the message I was getting too, that people didn't want the election that was planned for 2014. What they said was we should concentrate more on the socio-economic issues. And that is what's come out in the draft constitution. In addition to the guy's submission on socio-economic rights.
So how will you translate the provisions in the draft constitution at a practical level? I mean, giving so much to the public. Well, it's their right.
I think that you need to ask the government, the next government that is going to look after the constitution. That
I suppose so.
but I can say that
yes.
The rights that are put in, the socio-economic rights that are put in here, is of course limitations. There needs to be clarification on how you go about having those rights. You're not going to have the constitution next month and accept everyone to have water immediately, or everyone that wants Tahsil Road and gets Tahsil Road immediately. There needs to be certain clarification of those rights so that the government and the state or whatever is protected.
Thank you, sir. And we'll take a break here. आईना में ब्रेक लेते हैं. इसके बाद और भी सवाल आप करना चाहें प्लीज़ ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर आज क्लैरिफिकेशन देने के लिए प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब हमारे यहाँ पर उपस्थित हैं, तो ज़रूर आप ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर ही बातें करें. आईना में एक बार फिर से हम आपका खास इस्तकबाल करते हैं श्रोताओं. और पीएम साहब आज हमारे मेहमान हैं. आज और कॉलर्स को विल गिव अ फ्यू मोर कॉलर्स अ लिटिल टाइम. एक और कॉलर को मौका देते हैं. हेलो, नमस्कार.
Hello. I'm Nikita from Lautoka.
Yes, Nikita.
Yeah, so I'd like to salute Mr. PM for what he's doing for our country, actually. And secondly, I just came all the way from Lautoka to Suva today just to meet him outside FBC office regarding different matter which I had with me at present. I've been running with this matter from 2010.
Thank you. PM साहब जब आप यहाँ से बाहर निकलेंगे तो आपसे ज़रूर मिलेंगे, ठीक है?
Thank you.
जी, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hello, नमस्कार जी.
Namaskar. Good afternoon, Mr. Prime Minister. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Good afternoon.
Mr. Prime Minister, you're doing a very, very wonderful job. I wished you would be in the Parliament when we were small kids, and we would have got all the provisions which we are getting right now. Now, I would like to go forward, and I would like to ask you questions. Like, see, I'm not a very rich man, right? I've got 2 kids, but what I've done, I've got 2 properties which are what do you call it? What do you call it? The government land, right? It's a crown land. I was wondering, is there anything in the constitution which gonna prevent us, like for like protect us, like if we have bought that land? You know what I'm saying? Like there's a law, I think you guys passed that a person cannot own 2 lands. It's a crown land. Is there any laws you got anything like that to protect us? Because crown land is the most lands we have got in Fiji, and it's cheaper to buy than freehold.
Sir.
Can
you repeat your question, please? Please repeat your question, please.
Yes, sir. Is there any way we are protected? Like if we buy a crown land, right? Is there any way we are protected if, let's say, I'm one owner, but I've got 2 crown lands? Are we protected under the constitution that the government cannot just come and take that land away from us?
Of course, you are protected under the laws for the dealings you have with Ministry of Lands. In the case of native lease with ILTB.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. और आपका भी स्वागत है. नमस्ते जी.
I'm Mr. Prasad from Sambula.
Yes, Mr. Prasad. Good afternoon.
What guarantee there is that after the election there will be a good government like the current government? And this current government is doing very well. So I don't think there need to be election. Countries like Fiji, election won't work here because we got majorities of lazy, selfish people here. Our hard-working people and smart people are very less in number, so election won't work here. People here want a government which comes in power and feed them, spoon feed them. So I think this current government is doing very well. There's no need for election.
Thank you. Your comments, sir?
I don't have any comment, except the fact that we really want to have election in 2014.
You promised elections and you will have elections. Yes. Thank you, sir. और आपका स्वागत है. हेलो नमस्कार जी.
हेलो नमस्ते. नमस्ते वीना जी.
जी नमस्ते.
और प्राइम मिनिस्टर को भी मेरा नमस्ते.
Yes.
मेरा एक पर्सनल मामला है.
पर्सनल मामला के लिए मैं आपको नंबर देती हूँ. प्लीज आप इस नंबर पर रिंग करें पर्सनल मामला के लिए 99058119 पर 99057990 पर. थैंक यू. हेलो नमस्कार जी. हेलो जी. अपने रेडियो का वॉल्यूम थोड़ा धीमा करते भाई साहब. थैंक यू. यस, अभी भी आपके रेडियो का वॉल्यूम बहुत तेज है. थोड़ा सा धीमा कर दे, फिर हम आपसे बातें करेंगे. हेलो, गुड आफ्टरनून.
हेलो.
हाँ जी, बोलिए.
अच्छा, हम मंगता कुछ जमीन वाला बारे में बात करें.
ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर है.
हाँ, यहाँ नेटिव लैंड ना. तो हम लोग के यहाँ पे जमीन 12 साल से यहाँ पे खाली पड़ा है, परती सब जंगल है. जब हम लोग अप्लाई कर दिया उसमें तो नेटिव लैंड लोग आए कि यहाँ पे फंस करे हम लोग से कि जो ऑफर लेटर दिया हम.
अच्छा देखो, इट्स अ पर्सनल क्वेश्चन भैया. तो इसको जो पर्सनल प्रॉब्लम है आपका, तो व्यक्तिगत जो प्रॉब्लम्स हैं आप पीएम के दफ्तर में चिट्ठी भी लिख सकते हैं और कॉल करके अपनी जो समस्या है बता सकते हैं. नंबर आप नोट कर लें 99058119 99057990 पर. ठीक है, आपका भी स्वागत है. नमस्कार जी.
हेलो, राम राम.
राम राम.
मैं वाइनी बोले ताबुआ से सुखदेव प्रसाद बात कर रहा हूँ.
जी सुखदेव प्रसाद जी.
हम लोग के एक थोड़ा प्रॉब्लम रहा है. हम लोग नया लीज लिया है गन्ना बोने के लिए. हम लोग के वादा किया गया था कि 10 या 15 हजार पैसा दिया जाएगा. आज हम लोग बैंक से लोन लेकर जमीन तो ले लिया है, लेकिन कुछ लोगों को 15 हजार मिला और कुछ लोगों को नहीं मिला है. हम ये जानना चाहते हैं प्रधानमंत्री से, ये शायद हमें कुछ मदद कर सके हमें किसान भाइयों को.
ऐसा करते हैं, आज पीएम साहब स्पेसिफिकली आए हैं ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर बातें करने के लिए भैया. सो नेक्स्ट टाइम विल कॉल हिम. तब आप अपने जो सवाल है, वरना आप ऐसा करें अपने इस सवाल को लिखकर मेरे पास आप भेज दें, ठीक है, आपके प्रॉब्लम्स को, और हम लोग एजी के दफ्तर में पास कर देंगे. जी बहुत धन्यवाद है आपको. आपका स्वागत है. नमस्कार जी.
हेलो
जी.
हम बोले उनका हमारे जैसे हमारे 2 लड़का ने हमें छोड़ के चल दी ने, और एक लड़का हमारा अंडाइज है ना, और हम लोग की जिसके जमीन में रहता तो हम तो उसके काम नहीं कर पाता, क्या तो बीमार पड़ जाता ना।
जी भैया, ये भी एक व्यक्तिगत सवाल है फिलहाल। ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर आपके पास कोई सवाल है? आप व्यक्तिगत सवालों के लिए मैंने कहा ना, आप अगर सवाल अपना जो अपनी परेशानी है पीएम के दफ्तर पर नहीं पहुंचा सकते हैं तो वेल यू कैन राइट टू अस एंड वी विल पास ऑन द मैसेज टू द पीएम्स ऑफिस, एजीज के दफ्तर में, और ये आपका जो काम है ज़रूर होगा। ठीक है, लेकिन अभी फ़िलहाल हम लोग थोड़ा सा व्यस्त हैं, समय भी कम है, और आज हम लोग ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर बातें करें। ठीक है भाई साहब, थैंक यू सो मच। हेलो, नमस्कार जी।
हेलो नमस्कार बीना भटनागर
जी नमस्ते।
हमारे एक समस्या पानी की है यहाँ, हम तो को साफ हुआ रहता है।
जी भैया, अभी भी मैंने जैसे अभी आपने का रेडियो सुना होगा, तो ये पानी की समस्या, बत्ती की समस्या, रास्ते की समस्या, ये बहुत सारी समस्याएं हैं, हमें ये पता है, और ओवरनाइट इन समस्याओं का समाधान भी नहीं हो सकता है। लेकिन पीएम साहब ने अपना नंबर दिया है, पर्सनल उनके दफ्तर का नंबर है, आप ज़रूर नोट करें 9905-819 9905-790 पर। आप ये प्रॉब्लम्स वहाँ पर रिंग करके बताएंगे, वो नोट डाउन करेंगे। अगर आपको लगे कि आपकी बात नहीं सुनी जा रही है तो मेरे पास चिट्ठी लिखे, हम लोग पीएम के दफ्तर तक आपका जो खत है वो पहुँचा देंगे। ठीक है, थैंक यू सो मच। अन्य लोग जो प्लीज़, आज हम लोगों ने सोचा है कि क्लैरिफिकेशंस देने आए हैं प्राइम मिनिस्टर साहब ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर, इसी पर अगर इस मुद्दे पर ही हम अपनी बात को सीमित रखें तो मैं बहुत आभारी रहूँगी आप लोगों के। थैंक यू सो मच। ऐसा करते हैं, एक ब्रेक लेते हैं, इसके बाद में हम आपको मौका देंगे, लेकिन प्लीज़ गेट योर क्वेश्चंस प्रिपेयर्ड फॉर ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन क्लैरिफिकेशन। रेडियो 52 पर आईना में एक बार फिर से हम आपका इस्तकबाल करते हैं, और याद रहे प्राइम मिनिस्टर महोदय आज हमारे मेहमान हैं, और एक कॉलर को मौका देते हैं, और आपका इस्तकबाल है। हेलो, नमस्कार जी। यस,
राज लोटका से
जी।
Mr. Bulaturanga.
Yeah, Bula.
Thank you very much for coming in the air. We apologize last week we couldn't contact you, but where we can get a copy of this new constitution. And I'm a president of Western DC. I got lots of complaints. I like to if you give me an appointment, you and Attorney General, I got some on behalf of my disabled people. Can I have an appointment and have a talk with you?
Where are you?
I'm from Lotoka.
Okay. The Attorney General is coming down to the West tomorrow, so you will have
I hear that. We can come there, eh?
Yeah, you can. You'll have the opportunity to talk to him.
Okay, thank you very much. I'll be there. God bless you.
Thank you very much. Prime Minister, sir, you must understand that there have been a lot of talk about land issues amongst the Indo-Fijian community, the Ethiopian community, and basically all Fijians. But I think it is just as important that all should understand the safeguard of Ethiopian land in the draft constitution. Your comments, sir? I mean, on the protection of Ethiopian land in the draft constitution.
You want to know whether it's protected in the?
Yes, in the.
Of course, it is protected in the draft constitution, and hopefully, when the constitution comes out, the same protection will be in it.
Actually, yesterday in Lambasa, I think at the briefing, an SDL supporter, he actually queried about the protection of Ethiopian land in the draft constitution. And once a clarification was given by the AG, I think he was very happy and ended up saying that this is the first time he came to understand how the land was protected by the Ethiopian land was protected in the draft constitution.
Yes.
Which was never done before in other constitutions.
Yes.
So he was pretty glad.
Yes. I think what happened yesterday was an explanation of what happened in Momi. The political parties are talking about the entrenchment of Ethiopian lands in the constitution, when there's no need for that. What they're really wanting is the 1997 constitution to be brought back, because there's enough provision in the draft constitution to provide for the protection of the Ethiopian land. But even with that, what was the Attorney General driving at during his clarification and explanation yesterday was the fact that even with that, in the 1997 Constitution, the former government went ahead and sold Ethiopian land in exchange for freehold land. And And their excuse now is that it's for the benefit of the people of the Itoke landowners. Well, if that is the case, why don't we just sell all the Itoke land for the benefit of Itoke landowners? But we don't want to do that.
But in the current...
we stopped that. People are now... Yesterday, I was told in uncertain terms that you'd be a hero for all Itoke if you bring back the freehold land and transfer it back to Itoke land. That's not going to happen. But and the whole reason is not to part with Itoke land.
At this juncture, would you like to throw some light on the Momi land swap deal?
Well, as has been explained, a couple of months ago, just before I came out with the last decree, to protect that, to give protection, further protection to the Itoke land. We got word that the former government had they did an exchange of native land that went into the freehold area, and that was given to a private company. In fact, any exchange of native land is supposed to go to the government other day, and if the government doesn't have any use of it anymore, it's supposed to go back to the Itoke, the native landowner. But in this case, the deal was done in such a way that it went from native to state, and it was given to this private company in exchange. Sure, the SDL or the previous government are now saying that it's for the benefit of the landowners. But that's not a good enough excuse. The fact of the matter is that it is illegal and it shouldn't have been done. And that's exactly what should not have been done in the first place, is to sell Itoke land. And you know, a couple of months ago, the government put in a decree that stops this sale. In fact, it says if it goes into the state area, if the state doesn't make use of it, it goes back to the landowner. It should not go into the freehold sector.
So the Itoke land can be converted to state land, but it cannot be converted to freehold.
Now,
we
put in a decree that says that.
Yes. Thank you, sir. One more caller on the line. और आपका भी हम इस्तकबाल करते हैं. हेलो, नमस्कार जी. हेलो, आपके पास ड्राफ्ट कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन पर कोई सवाल है? हेलो, नमस्कार जी.
जी, D. Chandra from Samambula. A very good afternoon to both of you.
Good afternoon to you too.
So I'm just affirming this, that the September 24 elections will definitely go ahead unless there may be some unacceptable explanations for delay. That's accepted. One on the Constitution says, kindly say, could you consider that the administration makes available the draft that is converted to the Constitution of Fiji is made available to each registered voter. My question to you, sir, further question to you would be, would you consider, say, that out of the 500,000 registered voters plus, with due respect to the registered voters, the complex wording, legal and otherwise, understandably, would not be understood by the majority. The three political parties have made application for registration. Whether they have met the requirements is not my question. My concern is that they did receive the 5,000 signatures is a threat attributed to the good work that the administration has done to date. My question to you, sir, then is, will you and your administration be willing to go and televise live appearance for debate with the registered parties who are claiming to be the custodians of the parliament, the next election, and so forth, and on the issues that even I or we may have, or these political parties which are not showing up into this the issues on the radio, but they are just holding meetings or whatever in pocket lots, and what they are saying is, so what I'm saying is, suggestion, would the administration like to go on live debate with you and your political party, with the invitation of the political parties at large, so that we can understand what are the complaints about the Constitution as unacceptable.
Thank you.
The debate time will come when the election comes around. There's no doubt about it. But you've read enough of what they've said in the papers. You've heard what we've said in the papers. So you can make up your own mind of what is right and what is wrong, what is good and what is bad for people of Fiji.
Thank you, sir. Thank you for your comment. In fact, one of the qualifications for a nominee for the office of president is that he or she must not have been subject to a sentence of imprisonment for an offense 5 years before nominated. Should a person for the highest office of land not have an unblemished or an impeccable record? Why?
I agree. Maybe we should have a look at that clause.
Yes, similarly, a candidate for membership to parliament must not have been convicted of offences.
I also agree.
Dishonesty. So, most probably we hope for a change in there, and people can do their submissions.
But we're agreeing, just you and me. We need to have a look at the people at large, whether they agree with that or not.
Yes, if you agree that you need a very clean and unblemished and untarnished character as a prime minister or as your official in the parliament, so please you can do your submissions. आयना के अंतिम चरण पर हम पहुंच चुके हैं और एक लास्ट क्वेश्चन है और उसके बाद में हम अलविदा कहेंगे. वैसे sir, recently the president of the proposed Fiji Labour Party commented that we can't have a constitution shoved down our throats by a regime which is not elected and which is unlawful. Sir, it is a known fact that Mr. Chaudhry was your finance minister, I think for 2 years. He did not think that the regime was unlawful then. What one cannot digest is why is he criticizing the government now when he was part of it himself?
Well, you know why, and I think everyone in Fiji knows why. But I mentioned yesterday in the Fijian, the Itoke broadcast, that this is a wonderful opportunity for politicians to come and give their submissions with regards to the draft constitution. It's not a time to be attacking the draft constitution. It's a time to come forward and be a leader. There's a lot of people going around, supposedly leaders, who are hoping that the 1997 constitution will come back. They are supposedly leaders who want the draft constitution to come back. That is not going to happen. Let's face fact, let's face reality. This was a wonderful opportunity for people like Chaudhry to come and be seen as a leader and provide his submission to the draft constitution. Maybe he's worried about the systems that are going to be put in place in the draft constitution that is going to come out in the constitution that is going to hit him personally. Maybe that's what he's worried about. But seriously, I would ask all leaders, if you are a leader, come and be part of this constitution process. Come and be part of Fiji's future. Come and provide your submission to the draft constitution instead of bringing up all this race hatred that has been synonymous of politics of the past. We need to get rid of that.
And basically that is your message to the public as well.
That is my message to the public as well,
Thank you, Prime Minister Sir. It was a pleasure having you on Aaina today.
Thank you.
And maybe we'll see you later some other time. Until then, good afternoon and Isamode. And thank you. Thank you. आयना का एपिसोड यहीं पर समाप्त होता है. अगली मुलाकात अगली आयना में होगी. तब तक के लिए अपनी साथी वीना भटनागर को इजाजत दीजिएगा. नमस्कार. खुदा हाफिज.